Instant coffee. For a lot of us, it's the ultimate time saver, that quick caffeine fix when you just don't have time for anything else. But have you ever stopped to wonder what you're really trading for all that speed? Well, in this explainer, we're going to peel back the label and get the real story behind those little coffee crystals.
And yeah, that really is the big question, isn't it? We all love having that convenience right at our fingertips. But what's the actual cost? Are we sacrificing flavor, health, or maybe just that whole morning ritual we love? Let's dive in and find out.
Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we first need to understand what instant coffee even is. You might be surprised to learn that the journey from a coffee bean to those crystals in your jar is actually pretty interesting.
At its heart, instant coffee starts out exactly like the regular stuff. It's literally just brewed coffee. The instant part, the real magic trick, is dehydration. They take that brewed coffee and remove all of the water, leaving behind these granules that are just waiting to be brought back to life with a splash of hot water.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. Not all instant coffee is created equal. There are two main ways to make it. First, you've got spray drying. It's super common, but it uses really high heat, which can kind of zap some of the aroma and flavor. But then you have freeze drying, which is a much gentler method. It does a way better job of preserving all the good stuff. We're talking antioxidants, caffeine, and that amazing coffee smell. All right, let's talk about what might be the most surprising part of this whole story. Despite the bad rap it sometimes gets, instant coffee actually has a lot of the same health benefits as a cup of freshly brewed coffee.
And trust me, the list of benefits they share is pretty impressive. Both are packed with antioxidants that help your body fight inflammation. They can also rev up your metabolism, help you think a little clearer, and some studies even suggest they might help lower the risk of depression and protect against certain diseases.
And if we want to get a little nerdy for a second, one of the key players in all this is something called chlorogenic acid. It's this powerful antioxidant that's naturally in coffee beans, and the research suggests it could play a role in managing blood sugar and keeping your heart healthy. So what about the caffeine? The whole reason we're drinking it in the first place. Well, a typical cup of regular coffee is going to give you about 92 milligrams of caffeine. And instant coffee, on the other hand, has a bit less, right around 62 milligrams. So if you're a little sensitive to caffeine or you're just looking for a gentler wake-up call, instant might actually be the way to go. Okay, so that's the good stuff, but it's not the whole story. To get the full picture, we have to talk about the potential downsides, because there are a few things you definitely need to know.
But this is where the conversation takes a more serious turn. Because for all those benefits they share, there is one key difference that has researchers paying very close attention.
So the biggest red flag here is a chemical called acrylamide. Now, this stuff forms naturally when you roast coffee beans. But here's the catch. Studies have shown that instant coffee can have significantly higher levels of it. And that's something to think about, because it's considered a probable carcinogen for humans. And it's not just about acrylamide. There are a few other things to watch out for. A lot of those flavored instant coffees can be loaded with added sugar, which isn't great if you're watching your health. And of course, it's still coffee, so if you're sensitive, that caffeine can still lead to things like anxiety or rough night's sleep. So we've laid out the good and the bad. Now, let's put them head to head. How do they really stack up when it comes to the things that matter most in your daily routine? Let's break it down real simple. For time, instant coffee wins, hands down. It's as fast as it gets. For flavor, well, regular coffee usually takes the prize here, since brewing preserves more of those natural oils that give it a richer taste. And for caffeine, as we saw, instant has less. So it really is a series of trade-offs, right? Okay, time to bring it all home. After looking at how it's made, the health pros and cons, and all the practical differences, how do you decide if instant coffee deserves a spot on your shelf? Honestly, there's no single better choice here. It really all comes down to you and your life. What do you value more? Are you rushing out the door and just need that quick hit of caffeine? Or do you have a few minutes to spare to really enjoy the richer flavor of a fresh brew? It's all about what works for you. And hey, if you do decide to go the instant route, it couldn't be easier. Just a teaspoon or two of the granules, pour in some hot water, give it a stir, and then you can add whatever you want to make it your own. Milk, sweeteners, you name it.
So if you are going with instant, here are a few tips to do it right. Definitely go for the unsweetened kinds, so you can control the sugar yourself. Add your own stuff to it for better flavor, and like any coffee, just enjoy it in moderation. And here's a fun pro tip. You can actually use the granules to add a coffee kick to things like brownie batter or your morning smoothie.
Which brings us to our final question, and this one is all yours. When it comes down to it, what's going to win your morning? Is it the unbeatable speed of instant coffee, or is it the rich, comforting flavor of a traditional brew? You get to decide.